Hello, dear friend. My name is Doreen, and welcome to my channel. I've always wanted to find out more about Africans living outside of Africa. I've always wanted to know more about their lives in terms of work, play, faith, and especially how they preserve and celebrate the African culture while living in the diaspora. On this show, I'm going to be doing just that. And I would love nothing more than for you to come with me on this journey. So, if you've not subscribed, make sure you click on that button right away and subscribe. That way, as soon as I release a new video, you would be the first to know. This is Diaspora African. Tetteh, so thank you so much for welcoming me into your home today. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, and it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sorry.
Okay, so can you tell me who is Tetteh Plahar?
Oh, that's interesting. Who is Tetteh Plahar? Tetteh Plahar is just a man with a dream, a passion, and a talent, and he's got a zeal to survive. A lot of perseverance in me. Let me go back into my background a bit for you. I was born in Accra, 37 Military Hospital. Fortunately, my dad was in the military at the time, so that gives me the privilege to be born in a military home, in a military camp. I grew up in very different areas in Accra, interesting areas. At the time I was born, my parents used to live at Tetteh. From there, we moved to many other different places. We moved to Kaneshie. To be honest, I'll say we've lived in almost every part of Accra, if I should go into all those details. We stayed in Asalam Down at some stage. We stayed in North Kaneshie. We stayed in North Ridge. Basically everywhere in Accra. I schooled primary. I schooled in North Ridge Lyceum. From there, I then went to the prestigious Achimota School. I need to add that. Forever so proud of it. I was there from one. I was obviously of the old school age, so that was the era we did from 1 to 5, and then you have to do your O levels and come back to sixth form, and then after that to do your A levels and all that. So yeah, we've done all that. And then I chased my dream of becoming a fashion designer. I'm going to go into those details very soon. But yes, in a nutshell, that's me, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
No
you
worries.
for that, Tetteh.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Is
Thank
it
you.
one of yours?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Tetteh Plahar
yes, definitely. The logo says it all.
It's really good. Very nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. It's the
makes you look like the African
traditional, the traditional jalabia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I added a bit of Afrocentric touch and a modern hoodie
I like
sort
that.
of feel to it. If I
like
put
that.
a hood on too,
you
enjoy it better. Let model my own stuff.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good.
You're looking every bit the African king. That
thank you, man. Try to look elegant Sundays. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me fix this properly. Yeah,
it looks good.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I ask you, because you're such a fine, clothes designer. Can I ask you, can you tell me about your early experiences in the UK?
All right.
Or did you go straight into Tetteh Plahar designs?
Well, I started the business in Ghana, obviously. That was in 94, after my A levels. But prior to that, I was doing my own stuff. Like I was doing bits and bobs of it from time to time because I identified the talent pretty early. I was age 12 when I started making my own clothes. And throughout Achimota school, I was doing my own stuff, doing my uniforms and stuff like that. Yeah, at the beginning, it was ridiculed. Yeah, obviously, being in Achimota school, you know what, the little children who don't actually understand that their mates or their colleague could actually be making clothes for himself previously. In fact, to start with, they didn't believe, and then they realized that there was some truth in it. So they started identifying errors within the outfits I'm making and began ridiculing them. But I mean, that did not let me down. That rather encouraged me to improve. It's my life, and like for me, I always believe in like improving on things you do all the time. So that rather encouraged me to improve on what I was doing. But then it got to the stage that they started actually seeing the quality in what I do, and then they started bringing their stuff for me to do for them as well. So I think it was a good learning curve when I was there. And after, in fact, just before I left Achimota school, we had some students who were on an exchange program from the Ballard High School in the US. They came down to, I mean, learn a bit about us, our way of living, lifestyle, blah, 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 quite a lot, basically. So we decided to give them some entertainment before they left. So we decided to host a fashion show whilst they were there as part of the entertainment. And the entertainment prefect at the time was a friend of mine who knows, I mean, what I do and stuff like that. Encouraged me to present some of my collection together with a couple of other designers. He was Maoli Okujeto at the time, and then Nora Banaman. Yeah, whilst we're there. So yeah, they encouraged me to add some of my collection to it. And it went down well with people. It went down with the audience. It went down with the students. I mean, it made the students identify that I'm really serious at what I do, and I'm doing it very well. I mean, these were actually collections that I have taken from friends and family friends that I've made clothes for. Basically, they all supported me doing this. So yeah, that was the start of it. So after my A levels, obviously I was getting clients here and there to make some stuff for. One of my mates approached me to ask if I'll be interested in staging a fashion show together with her. So I said, oh, yeah, why not? It wouldn't be a bad idea. So we decided to put together, I mean, plans for the show and stuff like that. We started gathering models and all that. Rehearsal grounds was in Tema. I woke up one afternoon and thought, no, I need to get some fabrics to do some good collection for the show, because if I'm going to come out in that light, I need to come out properly. I need to come out well. So one hot afternoon, I just got up and went straight down to Mokola, one little hostel on the streets of Mokola, going to see what I could find there. So I went straight to the GTP office. It was then based in the center of Mokola. And they have all these little shops around them where they sell the fabrics, blah, blah, blah. So I went down there, approached the sales executive for the company at the time. I said, look, this me, 19 years, just completed A levels. I'm home trying to make some good living for myself. I've got this talent to make clothes, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to stage a fashion show. She was like, oh, I know you. I know your mom. She's been wearing some wonderful clothes that you make. I said, right, well. So, yeah. He said, yeah, I will speak to the marketing manager and possibly will be able to support you. Yeah. So that was where it started. They gave me a few fabrics to make my collection. I did the collection, and as per their procedure, they will come home, or they'll come to wherever I produce, wherever I was producing. But then I was producing in my mom's garage anyway. So yeah, they'll come home, inspect what you're doing, just to make sure that, well, you are conforming to certain regulations about their fabrics and stuff like that. So they came home, had a look at my stuff, and they were well impressed. In fact, the marketing manager, yeah, was very, very well impressed by it. And he was like, you know what, we'll prefer that you actually use these collections to do our sales promotional shows for us. Yeah. At the time, they were doing sales promotional for Sika Osika. Yeah, it was a big promotion they were running at the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. So yes, that was where it all started. They started giving me, yeah, a lot of fabrics consistently. We're traveling to various regions in Accra. Basically, we're just going to all the regions in Ghana and hosting various fashion shows, various sales promotional shows. You know, yeah, yeah, hosting various sales promotional shows to sell their fabrics and stuff like that. And I introduced a new concept at the time. I was at the time when most African fabrics were used by older people for funerals and outdoorings and stuff like that. But that was when I decided to introduce my own concept by introducing it to the youth. I had all that behind me. So I thought, well, I can encourage the use of these fabrics amongst my peers and, for that matter, the youth, basically. So I did a more vibrant and modern, or I added a more vibrant and modern twist to their whole fabric idea, their collections and stuff, combining certain patterns that were usually not being combined, because normally they sell them in pieces in 6 yards sets, basically. So when people buy them, they use them for cover, slit, and what we normally call nohano in my normal usual language. Yeah. So I decided, no, I'm going to go a step ahead of this. I'm just going to combine it in very unique and vibrant styles, to create modern and interesting collections with them. And it seemed to catch up. To be honest, it did catch up really well. And I mean, you can tell by today that like a lot more people are doing it now. It's got up a lot more. Yeah. But yes, that was the beginning of my relationship with GTP and my relationship with wax prints. So any new fabric they develop, they bring it over, we put them together in various unique styles, and then carried on hosting various fashion shows all around, basically. So, in a nutshell, that's how the whole business started. That's how I started getting promotion all around. All these shows were telecast. It was all over, basically. So, that's how it all started with my label, Tetteh Plahar Designs. Moving to the UK, that's another interesting part of my life. Yes, I did all sorts of things, because when you get to the UK, they say the UK is a leveler, obviously. So you will start from scratch and build things up. So moving to the UK, I mean, I did all sorts of stuff. For me, uh, when I'm involved in anything, I am passionate about it. So I give in my all, basically. So I started working for a residential complex um, in somewhere in East London. I was very dedicated to the job, you know. So I progressed within the role, various roles. I progressed to the level of duty manager on site. And I moved from there, went to Santander. But all along, all the time I was doing these jobs, I was still producing. I was still doing my fashion job. I was still producing for a shop in Barlam. There's an African shop right opposite the Barlam tube station. So I was producing for them. So when I finish my day job, I'll come home, do my cutting, do my pattern development, do my sketching, my fashion drawings and stuff like that. Put everything together, basically, do my work, produce, and take it to the shop. So yes, it was challenging, but it was exciting because I was enjoying what I'm doing. And for me, that's how it goes with fashion.
All right, Tetteh, I think that's all really interesting to hear. And thank you for sharing them with us. You mentioned about making clothes for your mother, but I see from your designs that you tend to make clothes for males. So what's going on?
No, I do both male and female. Yeah, I do both male and female, but I'm concentrating a lot more on men these days because I've become gender biased. I'm just joking. No. All right. Well, because when I started, I used to have a lot of female employees, basically. So I was able to transcend my designs and get them manufactured, But at the moment, I'm not getting any female machinists to actually make design to my specification or to actually construct my outfits to my liking, basically. I mean, if there are any there, I mean, this would be an opportunity for them to contact me, but I've tried quite a few and doing it to my satisfaction. And that's the reason I'm just concentrating on the mill, because at the moment I'm just using tailors who are able to deliver, and that's the reason I'm concentrating a lot more on the men stuff. And the men are becoming a lot more fashionable these days. I mean, back then it was very restrictive, but now they become a lot more versatile in what they wear or what they come out and stuff like that. So yes, it's becoming a lot more interesting creating new designs for men. So honestly, it's not about being gender biased, but yes. I am. Yeah, I'm not discriminating at all. I do special collections for females as well. And when they contact me, that'll be on couture basis, made to measure basis. But yes, I'm doing a lot more for men these days, basically, just because I'm using more tailors and I haven't got the right dressmakers.
Tetteh shared snaps of his late mother with me. I was amazed by how absolutely beautiful and fashionable she looked even back then. He also shared a snap of her wearing a dress that he actually made for her. And then he showed me some snaps of musician Stephanie Benson and her daughters wearing outfits that he had made for them. He showed me photographs of some of his more recent works and also works from way back then during the fashion shows. Then he also showed me some articles of him in the press from back then as a young 19-year-old fashion designer doing quite well for himself. Okay, so I've heard something about you having some Brazilian connections. Is that correct?
Yes, it's an interesting family line I come from, basically. Let me dig back into history a bit for you. I think that was 1836. I don't know if you've heard of the SS Salisbury that arrived in Accra from Brazil. It brought back African immigrants
Oh, yes.
to settle back in Ghana. So these people came in and became sort of part of the Otublom family in Ghana. The Otublom people call them the Tabon people. I think they came by the name Tabon just because of their greeting. Apparently,
Right.
they used to say Zavon, Zavon when they greet, and yeah, that's how they picked up the name Tabon. And this is the family that I come from. I mean, my mother's side, they are the Nelsons. So interestingly, these were the people that established the first fashion house in Ghana. They established this house in, is it 1856? They call it the first Caesar's house. Yeah, they started by producing uniforms for our military, and then that went into other sort of security agencies, producing for other security agencies like the police and stuff like that. Yes, and it will interest you to know that this is the same family that the renowned bespoke tailor in Ghana, Dan Morton Tailors, is the same family he comes from. So he's my direct uncle, and it's the same family that Labalela Abba Fulawio. She's married to a Nigerian, but she comes from the same family as well. So yes, this family has produced sort of a few tailors, designers, and dressmakers along the family line. So yes, this is the rather interesting family I come from.
That's absolutely wonderful. So you're a family of creatives.
Well, I will say so, yes, because even my mom, she used to be very creative. She was a beautician. She did all the hairdressing, the makeup, and dressing brides and all that. So yes, pretty much creative family.
You might have been influenced by your mother's
A great influence, I will say,
creativity as well.
because I mean, although she wasn't a dressmaker or stuff like, she was very interested in the sort of clothes she wears. She's very unique in her appearance. She likes to look exquisite, I will say. So yeah, she obviously has a great influence in what I do, and I would say she was technically my first model, because yeah, she was the first person I started making clothes for. She was the one who brought me most of my customers, because wherever she goes and whatever she's wearing, it sort of appeals to others to follow up. So yes, that was some good influence there. So that's my little background with the Brazilian basically, it's not really a Brazilian family. It's Africans that migrated from Brazil, or they returned, from Brazil back to Accra, or back to Ghana, and they settled and made their family out there. It's the same family that Azuma Nelson, the boxer, comes from.
Oh,
yeah, it's the same family Yvonne Nelson, the actress, comes from. So my mother is Naba Nelson, and her father, Bishop Nelson, same lineage. So
wow. You clearly come from a family of greats.
well.
All right, Tetteh. More about coming from a family of greats. What's this about your grandfather bringing up royalty, Ashanti royalty?
Oh yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. My grandfather, Bishop Nelson, he interesting relationship. Yeah, he used to call him son. He was the Anglican bishop at the time. I think when Upukuwari was a young boy, back in Kumasi, and he was the Anglican priest there. And I think the Ashanti family, the royal family in Ashanti, I think they're Anglicans, basically. So he had a very close relationship with Prempe at the time. And Prempe was like, this young nephew of mine, when he grows up, he's going to be the king. And for that matter, he's been super pampered at home. So I would like him to come live with you. Basically, at the time, my grandfather wasn't married. He didn't have any children at the time. So they thought, oh, it would be nice if, for a young priest like that, if they bring this little boy to come stay with him, to bring him up in how I put it, in the Lord's name, basically. So yeah, they brought the young Opokuwari over to him. He lived with him. He educated him. Took him to Adisadal College. My grandfather himself was an alumni of Adisadal College. So yes, he always considered him as his first son, until he grew up and then left and became king. So even at the time he was king, he always considers my grandfather as his father, technically. Yeah, and always comes down, visit him, sends him lots of money, presents, a whole lot. He treated him as if he was his own father. Yeah, but they had a very good and interesting cordial relationship by Ekman and son, basically. Yeah. So that's how we became part of, or the family became part of us, technically. Yeah.
Do you think that all of this history around your childhood and upbringing has kind of fed into your work now? Have they had any role to play in Tetteh Plahar designs?
In a way, yes. Yeah, in a way, yes. In a way, no, I will say as well.
Being
The Yes
around
Party,
royalty and all of that.
the royalty has got influence in the sort of designs I create. It could be, yeah, because I like my stuff to look very regal. Basically, I like to embellish with gold and unique embellishments and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it might have an effect on the outlook of my stuff. But I think the main influence is the person I see every day, the person I grew up with, which is mostly my mother and her sort of appearance and what she likes to wear and what she likes to do and stuff like that. I think that would have been much more of an influence on what I do.
That's great. So your mother is very much the amazing African queen that influenced and shaped most of Tetteh Plahar.
I will say so. Yeah, I would say so.
Tetteh, tell me, again, thank you for sharing all of this very rich history about your background. Can you tell me, now you are very much a diaspora African, you an African living in the diaspora, namely UK where we are. How important is it to you that the African culture is preserved while out of Africa?
Well, we do have a very rich culture to start with, and it's always good to make people outside our culture embrace our culture, or even if they don't embrace it, they actually see and respect it, and who is in a better position to bring this out, who is in a better position to actually expose this to the world. It's musicians, it's fashion designers, it's actors. So we have a role to play in showing the world our rich culture. So it's really essential that we do this in a unique way for people to understand that as Africans, there's a lot more to us than poverty.
Absolutely. I very much agree with that. And thank you for sharing that. So now can I ask you, I always like to hear about experiences in people's lives that could inspire others. So now that you're doing so well, you live in a beautiful place, business is good, obviously. Um, can you share with me any challenges that you've been through in life, and how I'm more interested in how you overcome those challenges? Are you a person of faith or more principle? How do you keep going?
I think principle will be more like it, because yes, in every aspect of life, in every aspect of business, you are very likely to face challenges. And starting business in a place like Ghana at a very young age as well, it's obviously very challenging at the time. I mean, these days, social media has made it easier for young people to actually exhibit their talents or display their talent out there without any obstacles. But in Ghana, there used to be a lot of impediments on the way when you are trying to start business as a young person, especially at the time that I started, and before that. And to overcome that can be very challenging, basically. But now, with the new age that we've entered with social media and stuff like that, it's making life or success much easier for young people, because they are able to express themselves without any challenges, without any obstacles, without anyone pulling them back. So if it will be anything at all, I will rather advise them to follow their passion, and whatever they are doing, put in everything to make it successful.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
inspired already.
Wonderful.
So it would be interesting to hear about what hopes and dreams you've got going forward. Do you mind sharing those?
Yeah. All I like to be at this age, when you talk of hopes and dreams, I'm like, am I not getting to almost the end? No,
I know you're not.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
your
But
hopes and
obviously,
dreams for Tetteh Plahar Designs, I
yeah,
guess? And
obviously, I will definitely like the Tetteh Plahar designs to go to the next level. I always believe in progress, you know. Yeah. So I'm always looking at the next step or the next avenue to take my collection or the next area to get into to ensure that my business grows, you know. So at the moment, to be honest, it's just about growth. I'm just considering growth, what avenues or what channels to take to actually expand or grow the business.
that's great.
All right.
Thank you so much, Tetteh, for sharing all of this. I'm just wondering, what you're wearing looks so good. You know, my dear
Thank you.
friend, my dear friend watching might be wondering if you could make them one. So, are you able to make clothes for people outside of the UK?
Oh yeah, I market my clothes everywhere in the world because I mean now it's very easy for us to actually post to any part in the world. And so I market online, and I mean, anybody can contact me either on Instagram, Facebook, all my social media handles. Technically, they can contact me there and make their orders. What I try to do is to combine the modern age of social media with actually this personal service that normally designers can deliver a one-to-one personal service for clients. Yes, I combine both. So they can contact me on any form of social media handle.
What's your handle?
It's Tetteh Plahar, Tetteh Plahar Designs on Facebook, Tetteh Plahar Designs on Instagram, or even WhatsApp on 044 7984 154 So
Can
they can
you say
contact
that
me.
again? My dear
Yes.
friend might not have written that down.
Yes. Well, the UK number is 0044 7984 154 310. And the Ghanaian number is 00233 244 370 So you can contact us on any of these numbers, and yes, we will be able to cater for your needs.
Wonderful. And you did say you could post outside of the
Oh,
UK
yes,
too.
we post everywhere in the world. Yeah, we do get orders from all over the world. So we post everywhere in the world, from Qatar to the US, any states in the US, to Dubai, anywhere at all, or Ghana, UK, anywhere at all. Yeah, wherever you are, you can still wear the Plahar design.
Wonderful. And how can they make payment when they
Yeah,
purchase?
well, various payment channels. We use Cash App, WhatsApp, PayPal. Yeah, direct bank transfer. Yeah, all sorts of payment avenues. Yeah, so whenever they communicate with me, I just check what payment platform is much more favorable for them, and then we use that. Yeah.
Great, wonderful. Tetteh, would you be interested in any business partnerships? Perhaps, again, my dear friend watching might be into clothes design themselves and they might want to partner with you in some way, or is that something you would be interested in at all?
Yeah, we can always have that conversation. Yes, it depends on what's on the table. So yeah, that conversation can definitely go on.
I'm just wondering, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in Ghana or Africa?
Oh,
Or
the whole of Ghana, I would say. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my family out there. Yeah, my brother who is looking over my business out there, Adipla. Yeah, my younger brothers, Nene and Bueno. Shout out to you all. And yeah, shout out to my kids as well. They're not in Ghana, they're here, but still shout out to them. Yeah.
oh, that's just great. You know, it's been
Yeah.
wonderful meeting with you in person today, Tetteh. And again, thank you so much for having me, welcoming me into your home.
It's a pleasure.
spending time with me. I couldn't thank you enough. I know you're a busy man, and
No
I've pinned you
problem.
down today to ask you these
Absolutely.
questions.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Thanks a lot.
So thank you so much. I
You're
think
welcome.
the only thing left for me to say now is to ask that you continue to do the good work that you're doing. We're proud of you as a diaspora African. May you go from strength to strength.
Oh, thanks for the blessings.
May you be stronger, may you be better, may you be wiser. May your creative juices just keep flowing day by day, so you may come up with even more beautiful designs to adorn all of us, so we can look like the regal Africans that we are, whether you're in the diaspora or you find yourself in Africa. So thank you very much again.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you too.
You're welcome. And stay blessed and well.
Take care. You too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.